So there's 6 packages of ground pork, and here's a little bit left over that was inside the machine that didn't go through, so I'll probably fry that up. This is what's left of that, however many pounds of pork that was. It's still frozen actually, so I'm working on that as it thaws. And with all the fat in here rendering, so each of these, as the water will cook out of them and the fat will come out of the fat cells, and then you'll just be left with the skeleton of the fat cells basically, which is a crackling. So as they start to cook and float up to the top, I'll be scooping those out and drying them on a paper towel and eating a bunch of them. And then in here, whoo, steamy. See if I can get a look in there. Might not really show, but I'll show it when I get it out. A couple of pieces of pig skin crackling away. Trying to make the most of that pig. Okay, so this has been in here for 50 minutes. 50 minutes, and you can see it's got some little bubbles started on the surface, so that should be cooked. I think this big one's not really cooked yet. So let's actually set that one aside. And this is tricky with one arm, and then we'll put this one back. Woo, back in the oven for a bit. I guess that's a big piece of skin, that one. Okay. 420 degrees. And there's the lard rendering. Just got it on a low heat. None of it's turned into crackling yet, so still got a little ways to go. Okay, let's give some of these a try. That's the fat side, that's the rind side. Oh, crunchy, fatty, salty. It's pretty satisfying, but it's going to be a lot of work on the teeth here. It's good. Ooh, making a mess. one of the main tricks is not to cook at too high of a temperature. And if you leave the fat in for long enough on a low enough temperature, it will cook off all the water and most of the fat will come out of the cells as a liquid. So the cells that are left behind are going to be basically a cooked out frame, whatever size you cut your cubes of fat. And those are the cracklings, I guess, or there are other words for them. I ate some warm after scooping them out, but there was way more than I could eat in a sitting. And so what I've done is dried them out and frozen them. And I thought that they would make a good crouton in a salad, or that they might be good reheated and sprinkled on other dishes. So they're in my freezer now. The fat I poured off into the jars, just leaving a little bit of headspace at the top. And as long as it's hot when you put the lids on, they'll seal up, and that fat should store indefinitely until you want to use it. So in the past, I've used that fat for frying up food. I often have a jar of fat beside my stove, and I'll use it up for any kind of frying where I might otherwise use olive oil or butter. And I've kept it before and also used it just to add, if I didn't have fatty pork to actually grind down into sausage, I've just ground up venison and then just slopped in a bunch of pork lard just to bring the fat content up. And that helps to keep a moist sausage instead of a dry sausage, which is what you would get if you had straight venison. So when you pour it in, it's that golden color, and once it cools, it'll just be a beautiful white lard in the jar. And those are in my pantry now. I shared a few with friends, and they'll get plenty of use in the future.